Okay, this is the new setup. So, the third Harbor Freight garage has been erected and augmented, of course. All right, my little tent garage complex. Okay, so that is the final third garage. Okay, as you can see, I have added to my collection of Harbor Freight garages with a metal roof and some additional structure inside. So the first one was this one. And this one's the strongest one. You can see that it has the metal infrastructure added to the roof here. And this one is rock solid because of that and because of the wooden framework at the front that's attached to the front of the building with the doors on it. This one over here does have that same framework in the front, but it doesn't have doors because the zippers have not failed on that one. This one, the new one, has most of the features that the others have. As you can see, it has the metal roofing on it over the entire thing. I've screwed that directly into the metal framework of the Harbor Freight garage itself. As you can see that it's got a little bit more of it on the south facing side because that's the side that's going to get some sun. So I wanted to protect that because I did not put the sacrificial tarp on this one. So these others have this green tarp between the metal roofing and the top, the factory tarp on the Harbor Freight garage. Originally all I had was that green tarp over the top and there was no metal roofing, but it turned out that that was not enough to protect it out here from both the sun and the wind in this area. So the metal roofing was necessary and seems to be all that's really necessary since it seems to be pretty good and pretty solid both in the sun and in the wind and rain with the metal roofing on it. So this one does not have the sacrificial tarp, just the metal roofing over the top screwed directly to the framework. It has the straps to the corners front and back of the building to an anchor point in the middle at each end of the garage to help deal with side to side. And that has that front and back. I've added that. Now, in the original one, I put metal framework, but you can see here, I have this wooden framework here. And this is directly attached to the metal framework and screwed through to the metal roofing as well. And I used some longer screws to come through the metal roofing and all the way into this 2x4 here. This is attached to this with some pretty long screws, and this provides that strength that the metal framework provides in the other one. And I think this one does just as good a job with just the 2x4s as with the metal in the other one. So this is actually pretty stable too. And it's not quite as stable because I don't have in the front the 4x4s in the ground with the 2x6 across the top for the eventual doors, which I will do to this one eventually. But I won't put the doors on right away. I will add the 4x4 posts and the 2x6 across the top pretty much right away. Next time I go to town, I'll pick that stuff up. I want to make this doorway a little wider though, because I made the mistake of making the doorway a little too narrow on the one that I'm storing the Jeep in, and it's hard to get the Jeep in and out. So I'm going to make the doorway on this one a little wider because I'm thinking I might use this one to store the Jeep because I want to use the center one as my motorcycle shop. So the only problem here is how close the opening of the garage is to the berm. It's just not a lot of space to make that swing to get in with the Jeep. Now normally with a little CJ5 I might not worry too much about it, but that thing doesn't have power steering. And what I'm thinking I might do with the tractor is just cut some of the berm out. I can push the propane tank just a little bit further back and just use the tractor and cut some of this berm and make it a little bit more of a natural curve to get into the garage here. And then maybe I can put the Jeep in this garage. However, if worse comes to worse, I can put the Opel in there and keep the Jeep in the far garage, because there'll be no problem pulling it in and out of there. And that one is already set up to have the doors put on it, just like this one has. It's just the zippers haven't failed on that one yet, so I haven't bothered to hang doors on it because I don't go in and out of that one like I do with this one. But the doors work out pretty well. I keep the existing tarp on the garage. As you can see, I've even stapled it so it doesn't flap in the breeze. And that provides the top coverage here at the top, because I don't have plywood or anything up there. It's just the tarp. So I use a 2x6 across the top here. So you can see the 2x6 attached to the 4x4s, and then plywood. I use this to tie to some 2x4s that I've attached to the side. You can't see behind the plywood, so that makes this really strong. And even though it's a $200 Harbor Freight garage, at this point it seems to have survived all the 40 and 50 mile an hour winds that we've had out here, and the harsh sun is now protected against by all of the metal roofing. And of course, with the three garages huddled together like this, they help each other. So this is the new arrangement. I am going to use the middle one that has the doors on it already for my motorcycle shop, and eventually I will have the cement floor in there, motorcycle lift table, and I can get working on that stuff. And these other garages will be for vehicle storage mostly, and possibly maybe this one I will this one is actually pretty level compared to the other two. I've actually kind of toyed with the idea of making this one the shop because it's a bit more level. Haven't decided, but for now, got more garage space.